Crypto. Home. Take me home.
Hi, this is Michael Uslan. You're listening to Batman on Film.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
Plug you in, we're tuning the frequency. Jett and the crew, they got the remedy. Discussing bats and all his legacy. Mike is silent. Welcome to the social hour. We're talking gospel, flying power. Look in the field of protest, got the keys to the Batmobile. Lights go down the shelter about the storm. Jett's wisdom striking like a dawn. We're down the ways of harm. We're in deep, not sleep. Welcome to the social hour, exploring Gotham's darkest hours. Tune in, feel the charge. Jett's at the helm with going large.
Welcome to the Social Hour, a Batman on Film podcast, batman-on-film.com. I am the founder of Batman on Film, Bill Ramey. This is episode 191. This is a twofer this week. Had one earlier in the week with Ron Lauer. Now I have two longtime BOFers and BO contributors, Justin Kowalski and who's the other guy? Who's this guy? Oh, I didn't recognize you with that fresh cut. It's Pete Verra. Peter Verra is here, y'all.
Oh, Boudin Pockets.
Let's ride. Let's ride. Yeah,
Let's ride like a cowboy.
How's everybody?
Good.
Ready for Christmas.
Okay.
Ready.
Yes, actually.
When I say ready, not really ready.
This is the most ready I've been for Christmas in a while, man. All my gifts are done. I got it done early. I'm
You're
ready
doing
to
the feast of 50 fishes and all that?
Oh, yeah.
All that
yeah.
thing?
I think we actually eat, to be honest, I think it's more like 12 fishes. But yeah, you got to at least get 7.
What's the official name
it's
for it? 7?
It's at least 7, yeah, 7 fishes.
Okay. All right. So what will be on that menu?
Oh, man. You got everything from bacala and squingili. You got some octopus. You got calamari. It's just called or calamari for those who don't speak New Jersey or New York. Oh man, there's crabs, there's shrimp, there's fried fish, there's fish salad. It's insane. It's insane. Everything's covered in oil and salt.
Okay.
Delicious.
All right.
Man.
Justin, you have is there like a particular Christmas meal that you traditionally have every
they have In-N-Out burger.
Yeah, we have In-N-Out. It alternates between ham or turkey. If we host, then we're doing. If we hosted Thanksgiving, then we're having ham. We'll do Christmas ham, and typically it's like Thanksgiving part 2. You'll have like.
I always tell our family to ditch the turkey on Christmas. No, it's like
I'm not a big fan. I like a nice Christmas ham. So I have no idea what we're doing this year. Sometimes we do pozole though too. We'll have a big old there's a party at my wife's aunt's house, and so it's a little more traditional Hispanic potluck. So you're gonna get enchilada and tamales, pozole, that type of thing. And
man, life in California is different.
Yeah, just all day. Yeah. So. But yeah, I couldn't do the fish thing, man, because I just don't like fish like that.
Oh, dude, I love fish. I mean, Bill's seen me just house crawfish and shrimp and clams in person.
Just couldn't.
So.
And I'm half Italian.
Yeah.
I couldn't even pull off half the fish, brother. That's it. I'd be out. They'd kick me out.
No, I love codfish, man. It's delicious.
Did you watch that episode of The Bear where they're prepping for the Feast of 7 Fishes?
No, but a lot of people have told me about it and have really recommended it, even though I don't watch the show. But they were like, "You should watch this. This is literally right up your alley." And I'm like,
"Yeah,
I love that show.
It's wild."
Yeah.
Anyway, good show.
Love
but
that
that episode was like the best episode, and it was all about prepping for that day.
Yeah,
so,
I'll have to check it
it's
out.
crazy.
Yeah,
it's a good show. We're doing. I've got
Christmas
Christmas
gumbo.
Eve. Well, I am. Hold on. HOD. Hold HODON. Hold on. One word. I am Christmas Eve. It's just me and Rachel and her mom because Jake's going out of town with his girlfriend and her family in Austin, and Micah is working. And so I usually do. It's like, I don't know, kind of a Texas thing. It's like tamales, Tex-Mex stuff is usually Christmas Eve, especially tamales. And then Christmas Day, Rachel, she makes that decision. It's Thanksgiving 2.0, so turkey and all that stuff. And then my sister and her family are coming up on 28th for that Saturday. And then I'm doing a big old gumbo. Yeah. I'm bringing out the big pot for this one because I got Micah's coming. I got a lot of people here. So anyway, don't get me. I get started on cook talk. We can go a whole damn show with it for sure.
You gonna make some pasta liar?
I haven't made that in a while. That was a good recipe. It was a good recipe. So if y'all didn't know, the Superman trailer dropped yesterday.
Hey.
And that's going to be our main topic, but this is Batman on film. So a couple housekeeping things just to bring up, get y'all's take on it, and talked mostly about it with Lauer on earlier in the week on one episode 190. That UK production news, which is a legitimate UK trade, and I think it's a trade for like people in the industry because I think it's like seeing what's going into production and people network and get jobs and stuff with that. Anyway, the Batman Part 2 is scheduled to start filming in the spring in London. And then there was a nice little interview. You should check it out. It's on Variety. I don't know if y'all watched it yet. It's Zoe Kravitz and Matt Reeves.
Yeah, I read the transcript.
Zoe is interviewing Matt, and they talk about making the Batman, and then her directing a film, and all. It was cool. And then talked about Reeves said, the script is final touches on the script, and we're shooting next year. So there was a bunch of, just a lot of clickbait, entire articles about the Batman Part 2 not going to happen. It's in trouble.
Oh, I thought those were just his tweets.
And and
find one.
And there was tension between Gunn and Reeves, and just all kind of stuff. So anyway, that should be that when it comes to this topic. And then also I'll mention she asked him about the Penguin, saying everybody's talking about the Penguin. You're going to do more shows like that? And he said, well, me and Lauren LaFrance are talking about doing a season 2 of the Penguin. And I know he's got some other shows in the works. So any thoughts on all of that hullabaloo that,
Yeah, I'll go first. One, not worried about production of the Batman. Whenever Reeves is ready with his script, he'll give it to us and they'll start production. Like, I'm not worried about that. Like, I'm sure everything's really just flowing along over there and he's just doing his thing. The interview was really interesting. Actually, the most interesting thing about it was when the two directors, air quotes, were talking and she was comparing her experiences to him. I found that the most fascinating. And there were a few times where it was like where it was like Zoe was giving Reeves advice. It was like, oh, wow, that's cool. Like, I didn't know if he was just sitting there kind of like, oh, okay, all right, okay, and or whatnot. But it seemed that piqued my interest. And I forgot what the last thing was. But
I had heard before Zoe and Matt Reeves had talked about how there's a lot of collaboration on the Batman, and one of the things that she came up with was the I pick up strays. That was cool. Yeah, and then also I think Robert Pattinson had suggested the whole Bruce being socially disconnected at this stage in his life that they went with. So Justin, anything Batman you want to mention before we get to the Man of Steel here?
Yeah, I never thought this movie wasn't coming out. I was my whole thing is why is it taking this cat so long? That was the only thing in which it was funny in that article. Reeves himself is just like he's just slow.
Yeah.
Like he's molasses
methodical.
when it comes to it. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, when we go back and forth on this stuff, I'm just like, man, the Batman script was probably done because they filmed in 2020, so that thing was done being written had to be in 2019 when they put like a button.
He started
on it, right?
in like at the very end of 18, and I think he really kicked it in gear in 19. Yeah.
Which people complained he was doing too slow back then. Remember? Like this is just a complaint against him since in the last two movies.
Well, I don't think it replace Reeves with whoever, and it's going to be a complaint against whoever is guiding the ship. My complaint, or if you want to give it a criticism or whatever it is man, it's just taking a long time. And I think the landscape is different where when the time between Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises was about the same. It was like 4 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I just think the way movies are is just different because people's attention span is way different because Dark Knight blew up the world. Everyone was like, dude, I got to see the next of this thing, right? So there's anticipation. I don't think the Batman has the same like eyes on it the way the Dark Knight did. Like that's just the Batman's good, but the Dark Knight like was like this like
$1
billion like everyone
it was Batmania. That was and it was social happening, you know?
Yeah, it hit everybody.
So a worldwide phenomenon.
So like when they were like, hey, the final part, the Dark Knight Rises is coming, everyone was like, oh, we got to see this. I don't know if the Batman 2 has, I mean, we don't know yet, but I don't know if like the attention is the same. So I think the more time that goes between these two films, I don't know if that works for him or against him yet. We don't know. I mean, it could be like, oh shoot, I can't wait, or it can be like, dang, that thing came out in 22. So I don't know. That's my strike while the iron's hot type of thing.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I will say that the Penguin coming in between, basically right in between both films, and how it got into the mainstream because they were talking about it every Monday on the sports radio talk show I listened to. Okay. And one of the guys, it was like the morning show. One guy had seen the Batman and the other hadn't, but he found the Penguin because people were recommending it. And so then he retroactively went back and watched the Batman. Then he's, then it's like, I got to see part 2. I got to see the, the sequel. And I think and I kind of talked about that with Pete before. It's like, I think a lot of people are going to retroactively find the Batman.
Yeah. What happened to a buddy of mine?
It
could be, and it could be a begin situation where, shoot,
yes, absolutely,
maybe the Batman 2 does blow up. But my whole thing was like, man, why is it taking this guy so long? Because we're in 2024. I was like, he had to have an understanding of what
I thought,
there was a strike.
Yeah,
but even before the strike, like this guy had some time to like put some thoughts down. That's all.
I thought
that's just
I was naive.
My
I
approach.
guess I thought those guys are working on that script during the strike.
Justin said to me on the phone the other day. I was like, that's not how unions work.
But you're not looking at it as a creative. A creative is going to be like, I got all these ideas. They go out and they strike. The guy who
pays union dues.
Yeah, but I would have, because I was listening to, and it's a way different filmmaker.
You don't cross the picket line, bro.
But there were some guys that were still able to make films, and it was based on how small a production is. So if your production was a certain size, you couldn't work. But if it was under a certain size, you could. There was some union rules that allowed you to bend a little bit. That being said, I just thought, man, if you have an idea, like, what are you're not going to write it down? Like, there's a lot of like solidarity and stuff that goes into, because a lot of this stuff was going for people like the streaming rights and things of that nature. I'm not saying Matt Reeves completely like, didn't write anything down, but I'm like, man, if the guy has a great idea, like, you don't want to lose that idea. Like, that's so
I think him and Matt and Thompson actively did not legit work, quote
Yeah,
unquote.
they weren't on the
We-
they weren't on the lot.
Yeah.
They weren't like,
Yeah.
But they were. We saw photos of them with their sons.
Yeah, they were on the.
They were out there.
They
Yeah.
went.
They were
They
on
went
the
on the
front
picket
line.
line. Yeah,
No,
for
I
both.
saw 'em.
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah.
Anyway,
all that being said, I just like, man, let's get the sooner you can get, the Batman
It's a
part
slow
2
cooker,
out.
bro. Let it marinate.
I understand that. I'm just like, man, it's either gonna benefit them, like, hey man, people got hyped up, they watched the Penguin and whatever, or it's like they're gonna forget. So because it's just a different landscape, man. Like you look at it with the Joker. Everyone went and saw it, and then part 2, it bombed, and that's because it wasn't good. I mean, objectively, I didn't like it, but you can't count on it made $1 billion, and the next one's gonna make $1 billion. Same thing with Aquaman 2, dude. That second one was trash, right?
Yeah, you can't.
It took too long. It was like 2017 to when did it come out? 2022. People are fickle, man. They just aren't gonna make that connection. So hopefully the Penguin pushes people to it, and hopefully when like the trailers come out, they're like, oh shoot, like this looks. I gotta watch this.
And it's Batman, so
and it's Batman, so
yeah.
I'm in the middle on it. I get it, but I'm like, oh man, if it would be coming out a little sooner, that's going to be the best thing for the attention span of the general audience.
I go back to what I always say, enjoy the ride, because I mean, The Dark Knight was 2008. I mean, it was what, 16 years ago?
That's crazy.
Yeah, wow.
That's crazy.
No, 14 years ago. I'm doing Texas math here.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. My son was born in 09. So yeah, it's 16 years ago.
16, yeah, going up 16, going on 7. Think about that. I mean, you could have a car driver's license, the Dark Knight at the time. And we always go, I can't wait for it to get here. I can't wait for it to get here. And then it comes and it's gone like that. And then you go,
yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I enjoyed the Penguin. I'm glad they didn't release it like the whole thing.
Yeah.
I would have binged it in 2 or 3 days. And this one was just, the anticipation each week building up to watch the next episode was really.
Yeah. I like
good.
that too. I like looking forward to something.
Yeah.
I can get burned out real easy too. Like, man, I just watched 4 episodes of Tulsa King.
I
need a break.
Yeah.
It's like this damn Creature Commandos. I'm sucked into that. And I get up on Thursday morning and I put it on immediately and watch the next episode. So, you hadn't seen episode 4 yet?
I haven't seen 4 yet. No, I missed it last night.
Damn good.
It's okay.
Weasel.
I love the GI Robot, man. That was.
I thought the 4th episode was kind of weak until Weasel. So
this is the Weasel. This is his story. So I'll leave it at that since you haven't seen it.
All right.
I'm not going to. Yeah, it moved me. I'll just put it that way. A damn
tragic.
Cartoon, a freaking animated, with a
who would have thought the
crazy-
Cowboy
Look at Bill's
Bill
looking
Ramey,
up, man. Bill's looking up.
Look at that Cowboy Bill Ramey, like
All right.
show about a humanoid animal thing.
Bill loves
at
the
that.
dog. Bill loves the
Yes.
little animal. So just
It's true. Animals. All right, Superman. Full disclosure, I went from being excited about Superman is probably my second favorite character. Spider-Man can ease up in there on occasion, but Superman. I mean, I put a picture on the in the Facebook group. I don't know if y'all saw it. It's me at I'm probably 3 years old, and I had my little homemade Superman suit on. And I'm with my first dog I ever had. It was a beagle. Guess the name. Crypto. My first dog was named Crypto. It was a girl, but her name was Crypto. And Superman the movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's probably top 5. And I've wanted a proper Superman film. I thought Man of Steel, which I borderline love, depending on the mood I'm in. I thought that it teed up a sequel, a true Superman sequel perfectly. And we know what happened with that.
The greatest movie of all time.
It went to, so with this, I mean, I like James Gunn. I like all the casting. I have a crush on Rachel Brosnahan from watching Marvelous Miss Maisel. I think she's a great actress. I thought she was, even when I was watching that, she'd be a great Lois Lane. And I I just I am not a fan of the non-Superman DC characters being in it, and I wish it was just straight up Superman without that. And you know, sure they may make sense in the plot. I'm sure they will. James Gunn is a very good screenwriter and writer, and it just I get the feeling if it wasn't of them set, this man that he has from Zaslav to set up a shared universe, you wouldn't have a Green Lantern and Hawk Girl and the others in there. Who's in there? Metamorpho and
Mr. Terrific.
Whoever. Yeah, Mr. Terrific. So
yeah,
that's just me. But I will say this. And so I went from excitement to like, I really don't care now, to I saw the trailer. So it worked. It moved the needle for me. And it's because of damn crypto.
I love it.
You're getting soft.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
Crypto. I have a soft spot. I love dogs. I love my dogs. My first dog was Crypto. I've always had a soft spot for that character, like Ace the Bad Hound.
Yeah.
Maybe even more Crypto.
Yeah.
And that got me. And I thought everything Superman about it was very cool.
Yeah.
And so I'll let y'all talk. Give me your first impressions, and we'll just go from there.
I enjoyed it. It definitely left a positive a note on me. It felt very true to 78. It even got vibes of like Superman Returns and the newsroom stuff like that. The newsrooms just look very similar. I look forward to seeing what they do Superman wise with Bill. Like Bill, I'm a little worried with all these other characters in there, but that's fine. I did get a little worried at one point because I'm like, where are all these Superman characters? Like, there's a Green Lantern, there's Hawk Girl. I was like, Justin was like, where's Jimmy Olsen? Where's Perry White? Like, I'm like, where are the actual Superman characters? So it was cool to see them get a bulk of the time. I'm interested to see what they do with obviously Superman and Lois. It seems like they have a very good relationship. Lots of catastrophic events happening in the background. It seems very, very comic booky in a way we haven't seen Superman before. So that's very interesting. I thought the Beast looked fantastic as Lex Luthor. I thought he was just really menacing. I was really kind of taken back at how evil and angry he looked. Luthor Corp is never one of my preferred angles. I'm a Lex Corp guy, just to be a little fanboy nitpicky. But the last time we saw Luthor Corp was Supergirl. That popped up there. That's what they did. That was interesting. The music was great. The graphics were great. Crypto was fantastic. Everyone complaining about Guy Gardner, myself included. He's supposed to look like a douchebag. That's normal. He should look like you want to punch him in the face, like. Weird haircut and everything aside, but that's Guy Gardner. Like you're not supposed to like Guy Gardner. He's supposed to rub you the wrong way, and I'm already rubbed the wrong way. So Nathan Fillion's won that battle. I know Kowalski's gonna have complaints about that, but I'm already like I don't like Guy Gardner already. So I think James Gunn knows what he's doing, and we'll see what happens. Metamorpho looked cool. Very interested to see what actually happens villain wise in this movie. It was a good trailer. It was a good teaser, but I would like to see a real trailer, not just a bunch of cool little clips.
Yeah, it was the teaser. It was the.
Yeah.
So I'll just jump right in. I watched it with Oliver in the morning. He's my 12-year-old, and the first thing I actually just love. I love the theme. I love the guitar driven like Williams like take. That was cool, man.
Y'all okay with using the Williams music?
Yeah,
they kind of did this with Superman Returns, so like I've done this.
Well, they did it straight up with Superman
did it again.
Returns.
Yeah, for me, the Superman theme that Williams did, it's just synonymous with Superman for me, and so I don't have a problem. It's kind of like the James Bond thing. I would even say with what Elfman did for Batman, I still, even though all the other themes are good, I just still think, man, that's the Batman theme. Kind of like, you remember when he said that? Like Elfman said that when they redid it for the Justice League thing. I was like, but that is kind of his theme. But
I don't think he's wrong. I don't think you're wrong either.
I don't. Yeah, it is one of those things. Like in like movies, when there's a theme, it just clicks. right? Like Star Wars, whatever, Indiana Jones, they all have like that's the theme. Like the only one who has multiple themes seems to be like Batman and Spider-Man, but I don't even know the Spider-Man theme. I couldn't. It's like
Well,
maybe
that's
I
just
know
because
it.
they get remade the most. That's it. Remember, like they
Well,
used this in
yeah,
Black
but
Adam too.
well, yeah, but like if you go back to like the whole point of like Bond, doesn't matter what Bond it is, it's still
It's
like
just
that.
Bond. Yeah.
You get that. Anywho, I love it. I think that was wise to do it because it evokes that emotion of Superman. When people even talk about Superman, they do that dun 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 dun, dun. Like
Yeah.
that's just in their brain. Like when my oldest was a little kid, and it was like I don't know, he just knew it was na 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 na. He would like fly his guy. Like that just
Mhm.
comes out of their brain. So I think that was intentionally, and it was smart to do that because I think it triggered that Superman feeling. But I like that. So Oliver, he's like the first question he asked me because he was quiet the whole time. And he's all, "I'm going to invite my friends for my birthday." His birthday is July 4th, so this thing's like a few days. So as soon as he saw that date, he's all, "Oh, I'm gonna invite my friends and we're gonna
I
watch
love
it."
this kid.
Yeah, yeah. So it's funny. He said the same thing as you. He's like, what's up with LexCorp? It's not Luthor Corp, Dad." I'm like, I don't know. So he said the
They
same
do it
thing.
from time to time. I don't know why,
Yeah,
but it's just a
it was
weird
funny. He
handle.
had the same. Oliver's Pete's favorite, so it was funny. He had that same thing. But he said, he's all, is this the same universe, Dad?" And I was like, "What do you mean the same universe?" He's all, "Is this the same universe from the other films?" I was like, "No." And he's like, "Oh," he's all, "Because that's Henry Cavill." I was like, "No." He's all, "It looks like Henry Cavill." I was like, "Maybe." I go, "A little bit." So he was like asking me all these questions, and he's like, "Oh man," he's like, "Dad, I can't wait, I can't wait." And so what he said, he's all, "I'm going to share this with everybody." I was like, "Why are you going to share it?" He's all, "Dad, we share things that we like." He's all, "Yesterday we shared Skibbity Toilet for Fortnite." Don't even ask what Skibbity Toilet is, Bill. It's just a thing they say. And so he's all, "Oh, I'm
Okay.
sharing this." So it's just
Yeah.
it's just they say this thing. So anyways,
Yeah,
he's
it's weird.
excited. And so that's where I was like, okay, the win was my 12-year-old being excited about this
Mhm.
film because kids need to be excited about Superman. So that was cool. So, and then last night he's like, "Hey, Dad, want to play Superman?" So he busted out all his like McFarlane's on the floor and like we played Superman for like 30 something minutes.
Have you ever done this with other films with this trailer? Like, or is it just because Superman you go really excited? Like, I'm curious. Is
Who,
like the
me?
fresh? Yeah, you and Ollie. Like, have you like shown?
Oh, I mean, no, we always when there's a superhero trailer that's pretty significant, we typically don't watch it yet. Asher will
Right.
always watch it though
So
without us.
is like the whole like fresh start, new universe, not Henry Cavill. Like, is that why he got excited? Like, it's brand new. It's something I haven't
Yeah,
seen
this is the
before.
first thing. So
Yeah.
he didn't know. He was just like, is this part of anything?
Mhm.
Or he said, is this part of the old universe? And I said, no. But like, I mean, because he hasn't seen the Suicide Squad. Like, I'm like, that's just too much to get into. They go, well, there's some
Hmm.
Right.
parts that are,
I was
whatever.
just curious as if like the old because old universe we all know what happened with that, and it was just
Yeah.
was he so turned off that like if a new movie in that universe came out, would they have been like just brush it off? Okay, here comes
No,
another
I
bad
think he was
DC
just
movie, or
asking more
because this
like,
is a fresh start, he's getting excited because it's the beginning, it's something brand new.
yeah. I actually recorded our conversation in the car, so I was going to cut it together because he had no idea I was recording him. So he's
You
actually
work for the
honest.
government?
Yeah. So anyway, that he was excited about it. For me, I was telling Bill a little bit before we started. Nothing surprised me in the trailer. And that's not a bad thing or a good thing. It was just like, okay, this is kind of a movement of all the set leaks and things like that you kind of already seen that they shared. Like, okay, this is just them, putting in kind of like you said, it's just a teaser. It's not really a trailer. You don't get any real story stuff. Kind of people are upset at Superman for some reason. Someone throws a brick at his head. But I liked everything. I liked everything that I saw. Minus I don't like Guy Gardner's look, but I'm a huge Guy Gardner fan, Bill. Like he's my I don't know what it was. I read that comic when I was the first
The Warrior, that one?
no, 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 the first Justice League International like trade paperback. I bought it one day because Batman was on the front. That's
Yeah,
why I bought
okay.
it. And I read that, and that was my first like interaction with a lot of these characters actually. And I loved Guy Gardner. I go, this guy's such a jerk, but it was funny. And then Batman, like that's the famous issue where he punches him out and stuff. So I have this love for Guy Gardner. And when they said he was in the film, I got really excited. I was like, no way, Guy Gardner's in this thing. But I don't like the casting of Fillion, and I get they're probably doing some Maxwell Lord owns them type of thing with the suits. I think the suit looks stupid, but I'm willing to check it out when it comes out, like, hey, maybe there's a reason. I don't think he's going to end up in that thing forever, but he just looked goofy though. I did think he looked goofy, and not in a way where you're supposed to like not like him. I was like, he just doesn't. Didn't hit for me, but that's my only real nitpick. I'm excited about it, man.
Looks like Mo Howard bleached his hair. Hey y'all, it's Bill Ramey, founder of Batman on Film. Let's take a quick pause in this podcast for these words from our sponsor.
Well, he has that haircut.
I know.
The mushroom cut. Yeah, it's very 90s.
He has the haircut because his favorite character is like this anagram of Captain America, and his sidekick had that haircut, and so he grew up, and that's why he has that haircut. But
okay,
it's a whole thing.
He's no Kyle Rayner, that's for sure.
He's no Kyle Rayner. But yeah, Rachel, so I showed it to the family last night. My wife, first thing she said, "Oh, it's the Marvelous Miss Maisel." Like because she likes that show. Is
that show very popular?
Oh yes.
My family's, they like it. I've seen a couple of them, but
I loved it.
Liked it.
It's funny. It is funny.
Yeah, it's like one of those funny shows.
Rachel Brosnahan is in it, and she's fantastic. I've already said that.
Yeah, she's like a comedian, but yeah, it's good. But I'm on the other side of this stuff with all the other DC characters, because from what James Gunn was saying, and I know you guys think it's all going to be spinoffs. I don't know if I don't think he's trying to set up spinoffs. I feel like I shared this. I don't know if I did it on your show before, Bill, or with Pete on something, but I think that when he says it's a shared universe, it's not about like, we're going to make all these movies that spin out of one another. I think it's just, we all exist in the same like universe, but it doesn't mean the Superman film is going to spin off into, Mr. Terrific or whatever. Now maybe it could, like he did say, like none of this stuff is going to impact anything except Peacemaker season 2. That will be impacted by Superman a little bit, but you also get Rick Flag Sr. in all three of these things, but they're not informing each other. It's just, this is a guy who maybe he has a through line. So for me, because I'm not I don't like when I have to watch something else. Like I don't think Marvel did it as much as everyone says. Like most of the Marvel films I like, I'm like, you didn't have to watch Guardians to watch whatever, Doctor.
I think it's more of a WandaVision, Doctor Strange kind of through line.
Yeah, but what I liked in Thor Ragnarok, where he rolls up into Doctor Strange's like spot for a little bit, and that had nothing to. And you didn't have to watch that to watch Doctor Strange, but it was like he exists there. It's like, oh, of course I'm gonna go. I gotta talk to some magic guy about a thing, right? And you're like, oh, there's that cat. And then you're done with it. He fills up his beer and he's out. So for me, that's the world, just like I'm hanging out with you guys right now. I won't see you tomorrow, but you're still a part of my universe. It's not informing the next thing that I do, but it was part of like, hey, I'm going to run into these guys. And so I get that. And Guy Gardner may show up on Green Lanterns, but I don't know if the stuff that happens in Superman is like, oh, you have to watch Superman to figure out how Guy Gardner got to Green Lantern. So. And I'm taking his word for it.
Yeah. He said what he said recently, and I've said as much. It's eased my concerns a little bit. He said a lot of the right things for me. It's almost like we're not doing a big build up to an event film, and everything is everything is on its own, and it's kind of we want to do different genres, R-rated through. I mean, look at Creature Commandos, my gosh, and Suicide Squad, which the Suicide Squad is canon. Yeah. It's and he said we'll see if it remains the case that he still wants to have the Elseworlds banner and do DC Elseworlds films. I don't know if I necessarily don't trust Reeves, but I certainly don't trust Warner Brothers to, we've got to get to a Justice League film, and I don't think I've hardly seen them learn lessons. And even though we don't have the same executives and leadership, and, it's gone through 2 ownership changes and, since back in the day. So I'm just like, I like Superman quite a lot, and I just wanted
Yeah.
a Superman movie. I wanted
Yeah.
it to be more just Superman. I don't want to see Hawk Girl or Green Lantern or them show up, whether they exist in that world or not.
Mhm.
That's just my personal
Yeah.
preference.
And
And
I get that. I think it's hard for me to be too critical because it hasn't come out yet. And I think the lessons
yes,
that James Gunn learned are going to hold true. Because I read an article the other day, was it yesterday, where he was talking about people were asking, "Oh, you're going to have like end credit scenes," and he's like, "Those are fun," but he's like, "Man, I put one in Guardians 2 and it bit me in the ass because he put the Adam Warlock, the egg, right?" And he's like, "Well, I had to freaking put him in the next movie," and he said that was a pain. So he said if it's something the fans will like at the end, but it's not going to inform anything that's coming next. It's not going to be like, oh, if you don't see this end credit, you're not going to know what happens in the next thing. And so
yeah,
I think he learned all the right lessons from Marvel. Like I'm gonna build a world, but they're not going to like Superman is part one, and the next movie is part two. Like I as of now, I believe this to be true. And he said at the get-go, he's like, hey, it's all these things exist in one universe, but it's going to be in a Star Wars kind of way of doing it, where sometimes you're going to pop in, in 2023, and sometimes you're going to pop in, maybe 1990. Who knows where all these shows are going to
It's
take
not linear.
place? Yeah, it's not going to be this linear story. It's just where the story needs to be because it's a pre-existing universe. We're coming in as it's already existed. We're not going to get the genesis of it. We're just going to be informed as whatever the story is for us. And so for me, I'm like, that's different enough that okay, it's not following that same recipe. It's familiar, but
they've got to be different than Disney and the MCU. They've
and
got to
I
be.
think he does. I don't think he wants to do that. I think he did
It's
his
just hard
time.
to say until I see what it is. It's just hard to get a feel.
Yeah,
on it. You got.
I mean,
wait for
his
that first
Guardian
movie.
films, man, they're connected, but they're their own story, minus the little Thanos part. There's not a lot that you can watch those movies all three and be good. The only part that tells you is like, oh, what happened with Gamora? And they even give you a little bit. They even fill that in for you. So, I think he knows how to play ball, but he also knows that hey, I want to make these enjoyable for people, right?
Yeah.
I trust him on that, And he's a creative, and he knows what it feels like to get jerked around because Marvel did that to him too. So I think he wants to do something that connects. And I mean, if he can, if he can get you one over with a dog or a weasel or a raccoon, I mean, I think the guy just knows how to connect with an audience, and so I don't know why he'd want to jeopardize that.
I will say this is just me again.
Yeah.
I'm even though I Superman movie, I wanted just Superman, that's fine. I'm a little more open to that kind of stuff when it comes to those like Superman and some other DC characters. Like with Batman, I would not want like the Brave and the Bold movie. If and when it happens, I would not want. I would not want. I would not want some of these non-Batman DC characters to show up. Just because we live in the same world or trying to set up something. So that's still
well, it
I'm
has
still
to make
worried.
sense. Like you don't want Aquaman showing up in the Batcave, right? That's weird. It's like, well, what are you doing here, right? That wouldn't make sense at all.
Yeah, but I don't like
I could see
team-ups for the most part. Like
but what if I mean, and I don't even think the idea. I think we're getting more off track of the trailer, but I don't think the idea of put them all together solves the problem because
no,
I agree.
That's no one cares anymore. Put them all together. That's not going to put butts in seats.
And now, considering you're doing it the second time, people are going to care unless it's decent.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest issue is they blew that wad and it didn't land well when they
blew a few of them. They blew the first Superman Batman meeting on the big screen.
Yeah,
they blew the first Justice League on the big screen. They blew a lot of first chances that should have been big deals, and now you've got to. Yeah. Here's my thing, man. It's more like just cautious optimism. Like I want this to be good. I want to enjoy it. But I'm just like, I've been burned by Warner Brothers in the past. And to me, it seems like they're still doing business the same way. But it's just weird. People crave like, oh, we need a figurehead who talks to us. We need someone on Twitter who's going to respond to our DMs. And then James Gunn posts a video of he's like, hey, check out this behind the scenes of the zombie sex, and everyone's like, the VP of a studio shouldn't be able to do this. He talks too much. He's got to shut up. And I'm like, it's like Todd Phillips all over again. It's like, well, that's not the real Joker. He's inspiring the Joker. And then Todd Phillips gives him the inspired Joker. I was like, this sucks. What are you doing? I'm like,
that's exactly that is so true when it comes to Joker. All right, moving it back toward the trailer. Let's talk about Crypto. Let's talk about Crypto.
What a good boy.
I knew Crypto was in it because I'd seen the still that Gunn has released. With them on the moon.
He's basically the co-lead.
I hope so. I hope so. Look, I like that Super Pets movie. I'm not gonna lie. So, that just got me, and that's the dog lover in me, and it's Superman and everything, and him coming to, he whistles and you see him coming through the snow, and
I don't know about you guys, but when that happened, I literally was like, I feel like I've seen this panel for panel in a comic book, and it's like I loved it. Like just the dog running with the gigantic storm cloud right behind him, and then he's just and it's not even a big dog, right? He's kind of like a medium sized dog.
Him just saying home, take me home. And he runs with him.
Gave him the cape. It was and again, I think that set up like this is what this movie is. It's gonna be it's gonna be something fun.
There's your tone right there.
Yeah, it was good. I liked, again, with the music, the dog. I'm in, man. I was already in, but like
to separate this Superman from everything we've seen in the past.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I think this is entirely different from anything from Reeves to Cavill, right?
It's
I think it's a little more traditional, so I think it stands a little bit more on the Reeves side of things and the Cavill side. But I definitely think it's just bright and colorful, right? Like there's a lot of like it's not muted dark blue. Like he's wearing almost like a royal blue suit, like it just looks different. That's why like when I was asking about Ollie, I was just curious because you look at it and, like visually, you're like, oh, this is not the same thing. Just the actor himself. He's not.
I know some people have complained. I like the way he looks as Clark. He legit.
Yeah, he looks different.
He looks different than Superman.
Yeah. What I liked about his Clark is there's always been that argument that 6'5" Batman isn't realistic because people aren't 6'5". Like I actually liked how this big Superman looked awkward in a crowd of people. Like he couldn't it was like his Clark Kent is not comfortable in his own body. Like he doesn't know how to like maneuver his giant frame. So he was like just doing all these weird like motions with his body as he's trying to get through people and trying to weave in and out of like congestion on the sidewalk. I thought that was very fascinating and clumsy and just like subtly brilliant. I was like, ooh, this feels like a very Christopher Reeves type like of thing here.
Yeah. I mean, it throws the scent off. I like the idea that I think it was in the Byrne run where why would Superman have a secret identity? Like no one's thinking he has a secret identity. We know that as a comic book reader, but the general public is like Superman's just always Superman. Why would he live among us? That's the trick. Yeah, that's the trick. And so I thought I don't have an issue with the hair. It kind of reminded me of as much as I don't like the New 52, that's what the New 52 take did. They kind of gave him that like tousled hair and he looked a little like sloppy on top. So
I mean, I legitimately went. This is like the first time that I ever when the live action Superman, I went, okay, he really, looks. I mean, I know that's David Corn. I know it's David Cornswet, but he looked different. He looks different, and Reeves did it with more. He had the horn rim glasses, but it was more the voice and the mannerisms and being hunched over and awkward. I don't know how far they lean into that. That it was kind of like with in those movies. It's like there was Clark, and then there was Superman, and then there was the public Clark that was a goofball, but he did it on purpose. So I don't know how far they lean into that type of thing. They
put something out yesterday. It was similar. When they put out the first like take of Pattinson as Batman, they had like the score and stuff, and they did something yesterday. They put out I don't know where I saw this video, but it was him. It was like they were taking stills, like photo stills, you know, the gray backdrop and whatever. And it had him as Clark Kent, and he's like standing there and he's dropping papers and stuff. And then it like just kind of fades into him standing like a Superman, and they're playing the theme. And I don't know what it was, like a tone test or something. So to me, I'm assuming Clark's going to be a little bumbling and stuff.
That's fine with me.
Which
I mean,
that's kind of what I like.
Yeah. Me too.
That's the thing I kind of missed in the last iteration. Man of Steel, we got a little bit of newsroom stuff, but it wasn't really Clark in the newsroom, right? Not till the very, very end, and then BVS had like a scene. Like I'm really interested in getting back to that element and seeing that, because that's almost like the Daily Planet's almost like a second family, right? Like he spends so much time there. He falls in love with the Daily Planet. Jimmy's a big part of his life. And it's something I really missed. I mean, Jimmy Olsen specifically, like a character that I missed terribly in the
He's
last.
His pal, man. He's his pal.
There's no doubt in my mind that at some point we'll see the Signal Watch, right?
Yeah.
I just feel like that's a very James Gunn thing. So I'm happy to get that. I'm pumped to see Lombard. Like I want to see another. I love Lombard's one of my favorite Superman characters. I can't wait to see that. And
Cat Grant.
I love
Ron
Cat Grant.
Perry. I love the Superman supporting cast is great. You know, that's you need that, and so I'm excited for all that. And that's interesting. They weren't in the trailer. They were in that little teaser thing the day before, but I don't remember catching.
There's like a shot of the newsroom, and you can see Lombard and Jimmy, and I think you can see everybody in there, which is great.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for that. I really missed that stuff in the last iteration, because it seemed like we got a lot of Clark at home, and that was fine with his mother and everything, but it just never was really kind of reporter Clark Kent. I never really got my fix there.
Yeah, it looked like in the. Oh, go for it.
No, go ahead, Jess. No,
I was gonna say it looked like in the trailer there was a lot of a lot of clips, right? There seemed to be a lot of different kind of random things that they were fighting, and to me, I didn't take them as the main like bad guy of the film. I feel like it's like, oh, these are just snippets of him doing some Superman work. Like, oh, he took out this, like he took out this like robot monster thing or whatever. Like,
I didn't like that monster. That's one thing. Like fake, like a Godzilla knockoff.
Yeah, to me, it felt like that's probably going to be like, 2 minutes of the film. Like, oh, we took out this monster, and maybe that's where he's hanging out with like Guy Gardner and
Superman
stuff.
headlines or something,
Yeah, like to me, I was like, because I don't see Gunn making a big kaiju like Starro, the main bad guy. Just it seemed to me like, okay, this is just a clip of him doing some Superman work, like in a montage or something like that.
I just think it sets up the tone of the universe. Like this is a place where larger than life things happen. Unlike other Superman movies, I think it's just trying to separate itself from what we've seen in the past.
Yeah. All right. So kind of wrap this up here. I guess favorite thing about the trailer, and did it affect you as far as moving the needle? Are you more excited, less excited, whatnot? Pete, you can go first.
The Clark Lois, Superman Lois stuff was what I really kind of gravitated to. Just seeing them together a lot, and I want to see that relationship on screen. I want to see it build out.
Okay, and are you more excited or less
for the
excited?
trailer? Yeah. It moved in.
So you're more excited for the film now.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, all right,
100%.
Justin.
Yeah, I was excited from the announcement. So because I'm a DC guy. That's like my thing. It didn't move any needle for me because I kind of expected like what the trailer played out exactly like I thought it was going to play out. Like, okay. But I did like that soundtrack just hit me, man. And I would have been okay if it was a new theme. That's not what I'm not like beholden to the Williams thing, but it did just kind of confirm like that song just works. It makes you kind of happy to think about Superman. And so that was like my favorite part. I know that sounds weird, but I think it was a good choice to pick that. And the guitar just sounded cool. I don't know what it just reminded me of, like when you go and they play the national anthem on a guitar.
Yeah,
that's just, there's something powerful about that, man. Just takes
Jimi Hendrix, Star Spangled Banner.
You don't need the words, but you still feel like, man, I'm gonna eat a hot dog and watch some fireworks. Like you feel excited about the 4th of July, and that's the vibe I got from that. Like, man, this is cool. This is familiar, but it's different, and I'm ready for it to come. So it didn't move the needle, but I'm just getting more excited. I was actually more inspired by Oliver's comments. I was like, man, if my 12-year-old kid is psyched about this, they've already got the comic book fans, even the complainers are all going to watch this, but you got to get kids, which will bring the families, which will hopefully give this a good run. Because I want it to do well, because I'd like to see more of what Gunn wants to do. So that's kind of where I landed. But yeah, it was just nice. And Crypto got me too. Like, we knew Crypto was in it, but I didn't know how it was going to be. And so that was just a sweet scene. Like,
nothing better happened to Crypto. That's all I got to say.
Oh, I don't think so.
Nothing better happened to Crypto. Of course, y'all know the Crypto Superman thing is what that got me. I said, okay, you got me at Crypto. I really like the way Corn Sweat looks. I like the Lois and Clark dynamic. I've said Rachel Brosnahan is Lois. The music, it's funny. I like different themes for the different incarnations of Batman.
Yeah.
I think it's, but I do think that that theme kind of, the Williams theme suits Superman perfectly.
Yeah.
And I did like the Man of Steel score from Hans Zimmer, but yeah. And I see, I get why they're a different, you use it with a different take on the music,
Yeah.
You don't have the same, like Superman Returns was actually sequel, ignored Superman 3 and 4 and was kind of a sequel to 2. And he was playing the Chris Reeve version. And anyway, so yeah, it moved the needle. I want to see it, and I'm sure the more I see, I'll get excited. I hope I'm not let down. I hope that my quibbles don't, and I don't think they will ultimately. As I do think James Gunn is going to give us a really good Superman movie, and it's going to be about Superman, and Superman's going to be likable, and Superman's going to be happy and nice and all that. So yeah, I'm
that's I don't know. Sorry, that's so funny, because we should expect that, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And so yeah, I'm in. So I'm letting down my guard. I want to go see it. Even Rachel said, she said, oh, I loved Crypto. Superman looks good. I like the music, and she said I didn't like the monster. That's I would expect from her. And I saw it with Jake. I saw it with my 23-year-old. That's my youngest. So, and he watched it, and the first thing, when the Crypto's coming to Superman scene, he just looked up, and he was sitting where I'm in now, and I was watching it behind him, and he said, "Crypto's in it?" Like with a big smile and happy. I went, yeah. I said, that's like good. The best thing about it. And I said, he goes, how are they going to do that? And I said, I don't care how they're doing it. The Crypto's in it. So, all right.
I wish you would feel this way about Clayface.
I just told you on the phone yesterday, and I said it on podcast. I am very interested in seeing what Mike Flanagan's script does with Clayface and the genre. I bet it's an R-rated horror film, because that's what
I don't think it's going to be a DCU film. I think it's just a one-off thing. It doesn't. I know they said DCU, but I think that was just like. I think it's an Elseworlds thing. It doesn't. I could be wrong. It just doesn't make sense, to do a one-off Clayface film unless it's just like you said, like a horror film. Because that cat, that's kind of his jam.
Oh yeah.
And so I get it being like a House of Wax type of weird, like small budget thing they're going to put out. The timing is the only thing that's kind of questionable to me. Like, why are y'all putting this out like so soon to like in the release? So things shuffle all the time.
It's like I told Lauer about that. He brought it up, and I said, I would bet that 95% of the people who go see Clayface won't have any idea that it has anything to do with Batman. They'll just have the DC logo, whatever. I think, whether it's DCU or Elseworlds, I don't think it's going to have any impact on the Batman Part 2 because but it is kind of having two DC.
Yeah.
Have we had two DC films released 3 weeks from each other ever?
No, not that I remember. Unless it was
Okay.
like an animated thing.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the Super Pets fell close to, was it Flash or Aquaman or something? I don't know.
It feels like, it
Beetle.
seems like this one will be like one of their old New Line, like James Wan and all that type of horror films, small, slower,
Yeah.
not low budget, but you know what I mean,
Yeah, no, I get you. It's like
not as expensive.
those things feed the beast too. Like if you get a low budget flick that does really well, like comedies and horrors, that's what used to fund the big budget films. That's how that's how movies work. Like, hey, you throw 20 million and make, 180 on a comedy. That's a good movie. That's a good budget.
Yeah, sure.
So DC Studios, if they're going to operate like that, they need to put stuff out that's not going to break the bank, but put some money in the pocket. So
there we go.
Yeah.
We've been talking about lower budget movies for a while now.
That's the way to do it.
All right, that'll do it. I'll do it for us.
That's what Ollie. So I took a picture last night. So Ollie he was trying to recreate that scene.
With that crypto. Nice.
Yeah. So there you go.
There you go. It started.
When you held that up first, I said, I didn't see that angle.
Oh,
Yeah. All right. Anything y'all want to mention before we get out of here? Go ahead. Anything?
No. Just
nothing today.
No, just I think you're crazy about Hush. It's a classic. I'm looking forward to Hush 2. Just want to get that out there. Bill's wrong about that.
That's how strong that gaslighting got you, and they completely brainwashed.
No, it's just how this is what you got to you. This like Hush 2 thing has reached like Kowalski level of nerves. Like it really bothers me.
I don't like the logo. I think the logo's stupid.
It's like when Justin complains about the muscle car. Just because what's going on with you guys? Like I just get crazy. I turn all beet red and I get veins popping out.
I'm just keeping it real, so I'm sorry.
Yeah,
go ahead. Go. Come on. Let's go.
Shredder Gotham, Spidey Coalition, Fred Astaire's The Batman Book Club, and I'm all over BatmanOnFilm.com.
Nice.
All right, Justin, anything you want to mention, sir?
Yeah, you can follow me on X, Justin M. Kowalski. I will be on the Batman Book Club talking about a little Christmas story with Robin and the Joker called Sleigh Ride.
Ooh.
And yeah.
Love Robin.
Yeah, that'll happen today, very soon. So that should be out on the streams before Christmas, I think. So with
there you go.
Ryan Lauer.
I'll just say, Batman on Film, Batman-film.com. I'll plug maybe for the last time because we're getting further away from it. Pete and I broke down all the episodes of The Penguin on the Social Hour. So if you haven't listened to that, check it out. And then Justin and Garrett and Haas and Pete Pete did the whole like a season review of The Penguin. Mm-hmm. And I got my review up of Absolute Batman #3 on Batman on Film. You liking that, Justin?
No,
you're not liking it either.
I'm giving it six issue shot. I don't want to just I hate it, but like every issue has been pushing me further away. I just don't get it. I'm
like the opposite. I'm getting more into it as I continue on.
Yeah. But,
Post,
I'm wrong though because it's the #1 selling comic of the year. So what am I? What do I know? It's just
great. Yeah.
People love them some Scott Snyder. That's for sure.
Yeah, give him enough time and he hangs himself. So I love Court of Owls, but then the longer that run went on, I'm like super heavy and I just
that's where I kind of checked out at super heavy.
Yeah, but hey, like I get it's I have my thing. Everyone has their thing, their lane, and this one I'm just I feel like they're missing a lot of the stuff that makes Batman, and I get why they're doing it. I feel like this is a response to all the Bruce Wayne's rich and he beats up people and he doesn't care. And this seems like they're getting rid of all of those complaints. They're like, this is a man of the people Batman. And he's going to,
they're doing that main continuity too.
This blue collar Batman, this doesn't make sense, man.
Just devil's advocate. There would be no point of having absolute Batman if it wasn't a little different angle.
Well, I get that. But when you say absolute, the word absolute to me means
big book.
No, well, yeah, but it means like this is like synthesized version of Batman. This is him. It's like this is absolute. This is kind of like I don't know what the opposite of absolute is, but this is like all different Batman.
Ultimate. If you're
That's how
comparing
it
it to
is to
Marvel.
me.
Yeah.
Ultimate.
Yeah.
It's have y'all read number 3 yet?
No.
Okay, I won't say anything.
Soon. Yeah.
I am interested to see where this goes, though, this whole absolute thing, because I think they're in for like a battle royale between main continuity and absolute. And I'm
that's where it's
interested in
going.
seeing that, but I don't need to see Wonder Woman from hell or, whatever they're doing with Superman. Because I was like,
Superman, all the screams of Krypton are in his cape and all this stuff. Like, what?
I don't know. It's not.
I've already read issue
you guys
number
enjoy
1
it.
of that. So, all right.
Yeah, I just don't want this stuff to go. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
You pulled a turnip, man. Now I gotta cut it up.
Okay.
What I don't want is for this stuff to get adapted into like the movies and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like
no, this is the last thing I want.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man, this is so off from like who
I don't
Batman
think.
is, like he's buddies with. It's like Smallville. He's buddies with all the villains.
We'll
they're
see.
hanging
That
out
drives
and-
me crazy.
So we keep reading.
Let's all play poker
all right.
together.
And I will. I'm committed to reading it. So
I don't think it's as different Batman as like White Knight was. White Knight took some liberties with classic Batman mythos as well.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Bruce
this
Wayne's
feels
not
more
really a
Batman
Wayne.
Beyond
So
to me, though.
yeah.
I don't see anything about Batman Beyond in it.
Yeah, I don't know why you say that. I don't get it either. I don't get the
Because
Batman
to me, it's just a random guy in a bat suit doing Batman things. It's not. It doesn't feel like a Bruce Wayne Batman story because Martha's still hanging around and there's no loss of mom and
Is
stuff.
she?
So there's a lot.
Is she?
I haven't read 3, but I'll tell you 2. As far as I've gotten, I don't enjoy it. How's that?
You like what you like.
Like what
I like Hush.
I like Hush. It's just overrated. It's not a Batman classic. All right. We'll get out of here. Now, so Rachel, finish up here. We'll get you next time.
You have been listening to the BOF Social Hour, Jett's official podcast on Batman on Film. Follow BOF on Threads at The Batman on Film. Follow BOF on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Batman on Film. To help keep BOF up and running, go to patreon.com/BatmanOnFilm, or you can buy BOF a beer at buymeacoffee.com/TheRealBatmanOnFilm. For Jett and everyone at BOF, I'm announcer Rachel. Authoritative, definitive, the original, Batman on Film, founded in 1998.
Found places filled with Batman fans. It's been the run songs since '98 began. Roll with the news and all the reviews. It's the go-to place to take the Gotham blues. Got a cape and cowl on knees and high. That man on film, so glad it's alive. That man on film, you feel us so. From Gotham City to the Batmobile roll. That man on film, ever strong. Feels like home where we all belong. Lights out, we're scanning the latest flick. Nothing like the sight that gives us that kick. We keep it to bail, the icons we hail. Never miss a beat on the bats in the trail. Turn the page, let the journey begin. That man been wearing that baby. Where we all been Batman on film. It thrill us so. From Gotham City to the Batmobile roll. That man on film, living strong. Feels like home where we all belong. In a world full of shadows, you bring light to us all. Every post and follow. To the call, that man on film, you thrill us so. From Gotham City to the Batmobile roll. That man on film, forever strong. Feels like home